First chapter. Introduction. After the expiry of 12 years of exile and residing in an unknown place for 1 year, the Pandavas demanded half of their kingdom from Duryodhana, as was his promise, but he refused to give even as much land as could be covered by the point of a needle without waging war. The Pandavas sought permission from their mother Kunti and accepted the challenge of a war. After this decision, both the Kauravas and the Pandavas began preparation for it. Sage Veda Vyasa had great affection for Dhritarashtra, the blind king of Hastinapura. Due to his affection, he said to Dhritarashtra, "War and massacre of the Kshatriyas is inevitable. If you want to see the scene of the battlefield, I can endow you with divine sight, so as to enable you to see scene of war from the place you are sitting." Dhritarashtra said, "I have been blind all my life. Now I don't want to see the slaughter of my own kith and kin, but I want to hear the details of the war." Then Sage Vyasa said, "I endow Saphajaya with this divine sight by which he will know, hear, and see not only the incidents of the battlefield but also the ideas in the minds of the warriors, and will narrate these to you." Saying so, Sage Vyasa endowed Sajahaya with divine vision. The battle started on the battlefield of Kurukshetra at the appointed hour. Saphajaya stayed in the battlefield for 10 days. When Bhisma, being badly wounded with arrows, fell off the chariot, Saphajaya conveyed the message to Dhritarashtra, who at that time was in Hastinapura. Hearing this news, Dhritarashtra was filled with great sorrow and started to cry. Then he asked Saphajaya to narrate to him all the details of the war. Up to the 24th chapter of the Bhisma Parva section, Saphajaya narrated the incidents of the war. Asterisk at the beginning of the 25th chapter, Dhritarashtra asks Saphajaya. Asterisk in the Mahabharata, there are 18 sections. In those sections, there are several subsections. In the Bhisma section, there is this Bhagavajata, a subsection which begins with the 13th chapter of the Bhisma section and ends with the 42nd chapter. 2 Srimad Bhagavajata. Chapter 1. Mat dead Wat Waika. What? W Saya Fenta Astanai. Dhritarashtra Yuvaka Dharmaksiter Kuruksetar Samavidi Uyutsava Mamaka Pandavaskaiva Kamakarvada Sajahaya. Dhritarashtra said, "O Sajajayat, assembled at the holy field of Kurukshetra, eager to fight, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do?" 1. Comment. Dharmaksiter Kuruksetar. In Kurukshetra the gods performed holy sacrifice. King Kuru also performed penance there. Thus being saturated with a spiritual atmosphere, the field of Kurukshetra has been called the field of righteousness, Dharmaksetra. Here by the word Kshetra in Dharmaksetra and Kurukshetra, Dhritarashtra means to say that this is the land of the Kurus. This is not merely a battlefield, but a land of pilgrimage, in which human beings, by performing holy actions, can attain benediction in this life. Therefore, by consulting noble persons, this land has been chosen for both mundane and ultra-mundane benefits. In this world generally, there are 3 root causes of disputes, viz. Land, wealth, and woman. Out of these 3, the kings primarily fight for land. Hence, there is the significance of the name Kurukshetra here. In the Kuru family, the sons of Dhritarashtra, as well as those of Pandu, are included. Therefore, both of them have an equal claim over the land of Kuru. But, asterisk within the dialogue between Vaisampayana and Janamejaya there is the dialogue between Dhritarashtra and Saphajaya, and within the dialogue between Dhritarashtra and Sajahaya there is the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. Underscore Saphajaya was born of Gavalgana. He possessed knowledge and righteousness like sages. He was Dhritarashtra's minister, Mahabharata Adi. 6397. Verse 1 Sadaka Sanajavani 3. The Kauravas refused to give the Pandavas their share of land, so war between them becomes inevitable. Though the word Kurukshetra is fair and justified because the land belongs to both the cousin groups, yet Indian culture is so unique that righteousness is given top priority in it. Therefore, even an action such as war is performed on the field of righteousness, a land of pilgrimage, so that the warriors may attain salvation. Therefore, the word Dharmaksetra has been used along with Kurukshetra here. There is one more point which needs attention. In the first verse of the first chapter of the Gita, the first word is dharma, and in the last verse of the 18th chapter, the last word is mama. Therefore, if dar is taken from the first word and ma from the last word, the word becomes dharma, righteousness. Therefore, the whole of the Gita comes within righteousness, viz. By following the path of righteousness, the principles of the Gita are followed, and by discharging one's duty according to the doctrines of the Gita, the path of righteousness is followed. From these words, Dharmaksitar Kiriksitar, all of us should know that all actions should be performed by following the path of righteousness. Every action should be performed not with a selfish motive, but for the welfare of all, and the scriptures should be the authority in determining what ought to be done and what ought not to be done. Gita 16:24. Samavet Yuyatsava. Duryodhana did not accept the peace negotiations despite repeated proposals from many kings. Nay, when Lord Krishna came to intervene as a mediator, Duryodhana bluntly refused to part with even as much land as could be covered by the point of a needle without waging a war. Mahabharata, Yuddha 127/25. Thus, Pandavas had no alternative but to fight. Thus the two groups assembled to fight for their rights. Though the two groups assembled to fight, yet Duryodhana had a keener desire for war, in order to usurp the kingdom by fair means or foul, just means or unjust, viz. By hook or crook. For Srimadbhagavadgita, Chapter 1. Thus his side was very keen to wage a war. The Pandavas had the virtue of righteousness on their side. For the sake of justice, they were prepared to face any hardship. Knowing the deadly consequences of a war, Yudhishthir did not want to indulge in it. But, as by obeying their mother, the 5 Pandavas had married Draupadi, Yudhishthir, by obeying his mother, became willing to fight. Thus, Duryodhana and the members of his group were eager to fight for usurping the kingdom, while the Pandavas were compelled to fight for righteousness. Mamaka Pandavaskaiva. The Pandavas regarded Dhritarashtra, being the elder brother of their father, as their father, and obeyed his order, whether it was just or unjust. Therefore, here the word Mamaka includes both the Kauravas and the Pandavas. But the word Pandava has been mentioned separately because Dhritarashtra was not fair and just to the Pandavas. He was not impartial, he had partiality for his sons. So the word Mamaka has been used for his sons, while Pandava has been used for the Kunti, the mother of the 5 Pandavas, was very forbearing. She had a unique personality. She did not desire worldly pleasures and kingdom. She asked Lord Krishna to grant her the boon of adversity. But there were 2 things which always pinched her. The first of them was that villains such as Duryodhana, etc., wanted to make her beloved daughter-in-law naked in the assembly. This insulting, hateful, and inhuman behavior pained her very much.